The flashing red and blue lights are in your rearview mirror. Your heart rate quickens as you pull over, running through a mental checklist. License, registration, insurance. You roll down your window, preparing for the standard exchange. But then you see it, a sleek, powerful dog, ears perked, sitting intently in the back of the patrol car. The routine traffic stop has just changed entirely. The presence of a K-9 unit transforms the dynamic, layering complex legal rules atop an already stressful situation. Whether you have nothing to hide or are concealing something, your actions in the next few minutes can determine whether you drive away with a warning or find yourself in handcuffs, your vehicle subjected to a thorough K-9 search. This is not just about traffic law. It's about understanding the intersection of your constitutional rights and police procedure in one of the most common, yet potentially invasive, law enforcement encounters. The foundation, understanding your core rights. Before addressing the K-9 specifically, you must firmly grasp the bedrock principles that govern all police encounters, especially traffic stops. The Fourth Amendment is your primary shield. It protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. A traffic stop is considered a seizure of your person, and the interior of your car is protected. For a search to be reasonable, police generally need one of two things. Probable cause, a fair probability that contraband or evidence of a crime is present. This is a higher standard than a hunch. Your voluntary consent. You knowingly and willingly give permission for a search. The Fifth Amendment protects your right against self-incrimination. You have the right to remain silent. This is not an admission of guilt. It is a constitutional exercise. The scope and duration of a traffic stop. This is a critical, modern legal limitation. The Supreme Court has ruled that a traffic stop is a brief, investigatory detention akin to a Terry stop. Its mission is to address the traffic violation that warranted the stop, e.g., checking license and registration, writing a ticket, and to attend to related safety concerns, e.g., checking for outstanding warrants. Crucially, the stop cannot be prolonged beyond the time reasonably required to complete that mission without additional reasonable suspicion. This principle is the linchpin of most K-9 unit litigation. 2. The K-9 sniff, a unique legal animal. A dog's nose is a powerful investigative tool, but its use is tightly regulated by the courts. What it is and isn't. A well-trained narcotics or explosives detection dog is trained to alert to specific odors. The Supreme Court has ruled that a dog sniff conducted during a lawful traffic stop is not a search under the Fourth Amendment. Why? Because it only reveals the presence of contraband, in which you can have no legitimate privacy interest, and it does not intrude into your personal space or belongings, initially. However, if the dog's actions constitute a physical intrusion, like jumping into your car through an open window, that may cross a line. The critical timing question. This is where the scope and duration rule comes alive. The police cannot extend an otherwise completed traffic stop just to conduct a dog sniff without independent reasonable suspicion. The seminal case is Rodriguez versus United States, 2015. The court held that a police officer may not extend a stop for even a de minimis amount of time, like 7 to 8 minutes, to conduct a dog sniff after the tasks tied to the traffic infraction are complete, absent reasonable suspicion. What does completion look like? The officer has returned your documents, explained the warning or ticket, and answered any questions you had about the process. The stop's original mission is effectively over. If the officer then says, "Wait here, I'm going to run my dog around your car," they are extending the seizure at that moment. Unless they have developed reasonable suspicion from something else during the stop, this extension is likely unconstitutional. 3. The traffic stop timeline, a moment-by-moment guide. Let's walk through the stages of a stop involving a K-9, highlighting your rights and the legal boundaries. Phase 1. The initial stop and contact. Your actions: pull over safely, turn on your interior light if at night, keep your hands visible on the wheel. Inform the officer if you need to reach for your glove box or wallet. Be polite but neutral. "Good evening, officer." The K-9 context. The officer may announce they have a dog in the car. This can be a tactic to gauge your reaction or simply a safety warning. Do not comment on the dog. Do not ask to pet it. Your focus remains on the officer. Phase 2. The investigatory phase. The officer is conducting the business of the stop. Meanwhile, they are observing everything. Your demeanor, your speech, any visible items in your car, any unusual smells. They are looking for indicators that might rise to the level of reasonable suspicion to extend the stop or search. These can include, but are not limited to, the odor of marijuana or alcohol, though the legalization of marijuana in many states complicates the probable cause from odor alone. Visible contraband or weaponry in plain view. Inconsistent or implausible stories about travel plans. Overwhelming nervousness beyond the typical anxiety of a traffic stop. Criminal history indicators from a records check. Phase 3. The extension point and the dog sniff. This is the most critical legal juncture. Scenario A. The sniff during stop. If the K-9 officer is already on scene and the dog sniffs the car's exterior while you are waiting for the license check or for the ticket to be written, this is generally permissible. The stop has not been extended because its original mission is still ongoing. Scenario B. The sniff after stop. The officer hands you back your documents and give you the ticket. Then they say, "You're free to go, but actually, do you mind waiting a moment? I like to have my dog sniff the car." This is the key moment. If you're free to go, the detention must end. You can ask, "Officer, am I being detained?" or "Am I free to go?" If they say you're free to go, you may legally drive away. However, this is a high-stakes question and may escalate tension. If they order you to wait, they are now detaining you beyond the scope of the original stop. This detention is only lawful if they can articulate reasonable suspicion of criminal activity beyond the traffic violation. If they lack this, any subsequent dog alert and search may be suppressed in court. What constitutes a proper alert? The dog must be reliably trained. A bark, a sit, a focused stare at a seam of the car. These are trained final responses. Acting interested is not enough. The handler's testimony about the alert is crucial. Phase 4. After the alert, the vehicle search. A reliable dog alert provides probable cause to search the vehicle. At this point, your refusal of consent is moot. They will search the entire vehicle and its contents. You will likely be detained, possibly in handcuffs, for officer safety during the search. Remain silent. Do not offer explanations, excuses, or stories. Anything you say will be used to shape the investigation and will be evidence against you. Verbally invoke your right to remain silent. I am choosing to remain silent and would like to speak to a lawyer. Phase 5. If nothing is found. This happens. Dogs can make mistakes. Odors can be residual, or alerts can be cued, intentionally or not, by the handler. You should be released. The ticket for the original violation may still stand. You may be angry, but do not argue or make accusations on the roadside. Collect the officer's name and badge number, note the time and location, and contact a civil rights attorney later if you believe your rights were violated. For what you must and must not do, a practical script. Do. Be calm, polite, and keep your hands visible. Provide your license, registration, and proof of insurance when asked. Clearly and calmly invoke your rights if necessary. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. I'm choosing to remain silent. Ask if the stop seems unnaturally long. Am I being detained, or am I free to go? Observe and mentally note details. Timestamps, what the officer said, the dog's behavior. Do not consent to a search. Even if you have nothing to hide, say, I do not consent to a search. This preserves your legal challenge to any later search. Consent removes the requirement for probable cause. Answer investigatory questions. Where are you headed? Where are you coming from? Do you have anything illegal in the car? These are designed to elicit incriminating responses or inconsistencies. A polite response is, I prefer not to answer any questions, officer. Argue, lie, or volunteer information. Do not offer unsolicited explanations. Exit the vehicle unless ordered. You have the right to stay in your car unless the officer has a reasonable suspicion for officer safety to order you out, which they routinely do in K-9 stops. Interfere with the dog or the search. This is a crime. V. Special considerations and common misconceptions. The "I smell marijuana" claim. In states where marijuana is legal, the odor alone may no longer constitute probable cause for a search, though it can contribute to reasonable suspicion. This is a rapidly evolving area of law that varies dramatically by jurisdiction. Interior sniffs. If you're ordered out of the car and the door is left open, a dog sniff of the interior from the outside is generally allowed. If the officer opens a closed door or hatch to facilitate the sniff, that may be an unconstitutional search unless they already have probable cause. Traffic stops are recorded. Assume every word and action is captured on dash cam, body cam, and microphone. Your calm, clear invocation of rights looks far better in court than an angry, emotional rant. You cannot beat the dog. Do not believe myths about fooling detection dogs with coffee, spices, or other strong odors. Modern canines are trained through these distractions. Attempts to mask odors often themselves provide reasonable suspicion. Suspense-driven question for audience engagement. Asterisk, you've been pulled over, and the K-9 officer, after handing you your ticket, says, "My dog is indicating on your car. I need you to step out." You know you have nothing illegal in the vehicle. Should you immediately confront the officer about a possible false alert? Or is there a specific phrase you should say first that could protect your rights most effectively in the coming minutes? Asterisk. 6. The aftermath. Legal recourse and why it matters. If you are searched and nothing is found, or if evidence is found and you are charged, the legality of the stop's extension is everything. A skilled defense attorney will file a motion to suppress. This argues that the evidence, the drugs, the gun, etc., was obtained through an unconstitutional search and should be thrown out. The hearing will focus on the timeline of the stop, the moment the traffic mission ended, whether reasonable suspicion existed to extend the stop for the dog sniff, the reliability of the dog's training and alert. If the judge finds the extension was illegal, the evidence is suppressed, and the case often collapses. This is not a technicality. It is the constitutional mechanism designed to deter police from overstepping their authority. Conclusion: knowledge as your best defense. An encounter with a K-9 unit is a high-stakes demonstration of constitutional law in real time. The balance of power feels lopsided, but your rights remain potent tools. By understanding the legal framework, especially the critical rule that a stop cannot be unlawfully extended, you empower yourself to make informed decisions under pressure. Your calm refusal of consent and your strategic silence are not signs of guilt. They're the prudent exercise of your rights in a system designed to protect them. Remember, the goal in the moment is not to win an argument on the roadside, but to preserve your rights for the argument that truly matters in a court of law. Stay informed and protected. 4 deep dives into your constitutional rights in everyday encounters. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a critical update. Your freedom could depend on it.